Cosa Nostra, the genesis of the organization. The place where Cosa Nostra was born and still carries out its main activities today in Sicily, a territory in southern Italy that was repeatedly under foreign rule and which gained its independence from the oppressors only in the 18th century. The first document referring to a typical group in Sicily dates from 1837 and represents a report by the prefect general of the High Criminal Court in Traponi, Pietra Cala Ula, to his superiors in Naples, regarding the existence of associations of persons engaged in criminal activities, such as the ransom of stolen cattle herds, the corruption of civil servants, etc. The work Vicariate Mafias, written in 1863 by Giuseppe Rizzotto and Gaetano Mosca, first defines the mafia as a common expression used to describe a group of arrogant and violent individuals united by secret relations. The first signs that the mafia began to become a criminal organization appeared in 1893, with the appearance of the so-called cosche gangs of the mafia. During this period, almost all the feudal properties fell into the hands of the mafia tenants, who would later become their owners. These tenants had absolute power over the lands, although they paid a share to the Italian nobles. The peasants began to hate the mobsters, transformed from rescuers to executioners. The structure and dimensions of the organization. The Sicilian Mafia is based on the family, so named after the territory it controls, which includes several groups of men of honor. Each family is led by a capofamiglia, seconded by one or more consiglieri, and several capodecina. A capodecina controls a small group of mobsters, usually consisting of 10 people. The union of several powerful families is called cosche. Several cosche of the same profile form an alliance called the concitteria. All the consonantals in Sicily form the honorary society, meaning mafia. Thus above the families is the commission, or dome, led by a chief who represents the absolute power of the mafia in a particular region or province. The central figure of the mafia is the boss. The name Godfather obviously emphasizes his superior position over other mobsters. He is the person who married or baptized most of those in the organization. To become a Sicilian Godfather, he must be very rich and highly respected. Respect is even more important than wealth. A mafia boss must be bold, cold, cunning, and violent at the same time. He must have a mind and especially a hand, in a symbolic sense, quick and strong if the situation requires it. He must know how to be silent and listen to all his subordinates and those who ask for his help unless he has to intervene. He does not interfere directly in the small affairs of the family he leads. He must not be arrogant. Arrogance for mobsters is the equivalent of stupidity. To have par excellence the attitude of peacemaker, of advisor, of a generous man. A true godfather will never carry a weapon because there are enough lower-ranking mobsters to use it and blindly execute orders given by his boss. The leadership of the Sicilian Mafia, known as the Honorable Society, is organized in the form of a pyramid, similar to that of a modern company. 1. Head of all leaders. 2. Capo de Capi title that is granted as a sign of respect to a senior or retired member of the Mafia. 3. Capo Crimini, known as Don or Godfather of a family. 4. Capo Bastone is the second rank after Capo Crimini. 5. Counselor, advisor. 6. Accounting. 7. Caporegime or Capodecina, lieutenant leading a group of at least 10 soldiers, or scarista. 8. Scarista or soldato, soldiers, who carry out the ordered assassinations. 9. Picciotto, soldiers, reinforcements. 10. Giovane d'Onore, associate member of the Mafia, usually without any Italian origin. To be a member of the organization, a candidate must first demonstrate real qualities, after which he is presented to the people of honor, in order to test and determine the appropriate time for membership. Next, an initiation ceremony takes place, with the taking of the oath of allegiance, after which he will accept the full and assimilation of the new member. Traditionally, All decisions are made by commissions, with heads of families not having the right to act without consulting them. Once he joined the organization, the mobster will never be able to leave her. A very good characterization of belonging to the mafia was made by a well-known Sicilian mafia boss, Nino Salvo. The mafia is like a beautiful rose, but full of thorns. The oath of entry into the Sicilian mafia is the same as the beginning, and the primitive ritual is unchanged. The family representative brings to the attention of the new people of honor the rules that govern the organization and the obligations deriving from belonging to the mafia. When the Carabinieri arrested the mobster Salvatore Lo Piccolo, nicknamed Il Barone, on November 5, 2007, among these things was discovered a list of mafia codes that amazed the law enforcement officers. No one had thought that the mafia rules had gone so far as to create even 10 commandments of Cosa Nostra members. 1. No one can present himself directly to a man of honor. There must be a third person to make the introduction. 2. Never look at the wife of a friend or man of honor. 3. Never be seen in the company of a police officer. 4. Must not be in clubs or bars. 5. Be prepared to carry out the orders given by Cosa Nostra, even if your wife is about to give birth. 6. You must always be punctual. 7. Spouses must be treated with respect. 8. When you are asked something, the answer must be only true. 9. You cannot take money that belongs to one or more of the mafia families. 10. What kind of people cannot enter Cosa Nostra? Anyone who has a relative or close friend in the police, anyone who does not respect moral codes and who behaves badly, anyone who has a relative who has already betrayed the mafia. There are also obvious obsolete rules that were used by the Sicilian mafia and that are no longer relevant today. In any period of time, however, the family and the respect of those around them were a rule of the Italian mobsters. Thus, until the replacement of the old mafia with the Cosa Nostra structures of Lucky Luciano in America and Luciano Leggio and Toto Rina in Italy, the old prince mobsters never had to get involved in the drug business, live meat trafficking, or gambling. It seems strange, but any Italian mobster became first and foremost a large landowner, agriculture being the main occupation. The way they get the land, the finances, and the goods, however, is another story. Cosa Nostra consists of 186 organizations with about 5,000 members, which is a man of honor per 1,000 Sicilian inhabitants, and counts on the support of tens of thousands of people and supporters. Even if various changes occur at the level of the staff part of the Sicilian mafia, the number of members remains constant at the figure previously stated. Cosa Nostra continues to be the strongest, most organized, and most dangerous Italian mafia organization. This organization is able to develop its own general strategy, has its own management methods and specialized staff, able to propose solutions and exercise total territorial control. Control in the territory is essential for the organization because it allows it to operate freely, without fear of persecution, to study and verify the movements of opponents, to influence the population, presenting itself as an all-knowing and all-powerful authority. The motto of the organization is that a mafia without territory is like a king without a kingdom. In order to control the Sicilian territory, Cosa Nostra benefits from the support of politicians and influential people from various local institutions. It should be noted that this organization has always exploited its political ties, but the aim was more to ensure the protection or facilitation of illegal operations than to directly influence decisions at the national level. Cosa Nostra's attempts to achieve its goals by persuasion take place, and the source of the violence is out of reach or when its leaders are in danger, either from within or from without. Cosa Nostra has taken responsibility for the most heinous crimes in the history of the Italian nation, including the murders of magistrates Giovanni Falcone, killed along with his wife, and 3 escort police officers, Paolo Borsellino, killed along with his wife, and 5 police officers, the High Anti-Mafia Commissioner, General Carlo Alberto Dalla Chiesa, Christian Democrat politician Salvo Lima and the president of the Sicilian region, Mattarella. Referring to the causes that generated the terrible force of the Sicilian Mafia, Giovanni Falcone noted in book, Cosa Nostra, The Judge and the People of Honor, that we must refer to the basic subculture of this organization, which is much more internalized and much richer than that of other criminal organizations and which translates into the rigorous selection of its recruits, their iron ability to impose drastic rules that are observed without exception. Entering the Mafia is like a conversion, you never stop being faithful. Links with other criminal organizations. Internally, Cosa Nostra has close links with all other Italian mafia associations, links that materialize mainly in drug trafficking. The links of the Sicilian Mafia with the Neapolitan Mafia were also favored by the fact that some of the leaders of the Camorra, such as Umberto Amaturo, Edward Bertolino, and Michele Zazzo were initially honorary men of Cosa Nostra. Cosa Nostra also acts in close connection with the Sacra Corona Unita, many of the latter's activities being directed and controlled directly by Sicilian mobsters. Externally, Cosa Nostra is an ideal model for many organized crime unions. Cosa Nostra is known for its close links and how it works together with other organized criminal structures, especially with regard to drug trafficking. In recent decades, Cosa Nostra has settled in other parts of Italy, such as Rome, Naples, Milan, and Turin, as well as in other countries, the USA, Canada, and Australia. The main activities carried out by Cosa Nostra. The clandestine drug trade has been one in recent decades. From the main concerns of the Sicilian Mafia families, through which they obtained fabulous benefits. In parallel with drug trafficking, Cosa Nostra is primarily concerned with laundering dirty money, accumulated in huge amounts through various criminal activities, some of which are reinvested in legal business. Apart from these activities, the Sicilian Mafia is deeply involved in trafficking in weapons, ammunition, explosives, usury operations, speculation, cigarette smuggling, etc.